But today I kind of wanted to just jump into the memberships a little bit that are inside of Stackably. We talk a little bit about appointments with Appointment Stack and how you book appointments and how it works for salons and pet grooming. A couple of the other verticals that John highlighted in the email that he sent out that we were trying to specifically get demos for, though, were dance studios and gymnastic studios. And so I wanted to kind of just touch on memberships, how memberships can be created online, how they can book kids into classes, and you can have class limits and that sort of thing. And so I was just going to highlight a couple of those features today on this call, just to give you guys a little bit more context around the appointment booking for classes. So from here, I'm on my dashboard. Can you guys see that all okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, it's perfect. So I'm going to go down here to shop, and this is where we would build out our memberships. And from inside the memberships tab, again, inside your payment stack, you do have all of the access to memberships. You can create memberships. They're used for a lot of different things. Anything that's a recurring payment that needs to auto run, you can use memberships for. However, when we're using them for gymnastic studios and dance studios, they would be running a little bit different. If I go to my adult gymnastics membership here, when I edit this, when you build out your memberships, you're going to give them a name. You're going to create what type of a customer it's going to create. You can create leads from these membership forms. This could be used for different scenarios. So if I wanted to create a lead from a membership or from a registration flow, this would be mainly used by places that want to give a free trial, but they also still need a contract or a waiver signed. And so this allows you to then have them book into 3 free classes. They fill out all the necessary paperwork that they would need, but the system is just going to create a lead because they're not paying you yet. Or we can make them a client right away if they're automatically going into this ongoing membership. So a lot of functionality around how that works. Then from here, I can schedule out when the registration takes place. Does the membership start right away? How does that work? This little section gives you some flexibility around how quickly it happens. How long does it run? So if you want to run 12-month contracts at a gym versus an ongoing subscription, you have that flexibility here as well. Then you have the booking section here where we can require a booking for a membership. And so what this makes the system do is we build a class inside of Stackably. There's an employee assigned to the class. I'll show you how all that gets built out. Then when somebody's registering for this specific membership, I can say, whenever somebody registers for this, let's automatically put that customer into the class that they're supposed to be registering for. So that way we can automatically make sure their spot is filled and we're not overbooking into classes. A lot of places don't want you to sell 20 students into a class that can only hold 10. And this gives us the control and the ability to do that. So from here, I can select the classes. Again, I just have some generic ones in here. I could throw class 1 into here, and then this is going to cap registration at the number of slots that class has. And again, I'll show you how that ties together here in a second. Then I can go in, I can put my digital contract. Again, very important for anybody that's running classes. I can select a digital contract. Here you can see I have 2 created. I would select one of these, and that's going to put that into the registration flow when the customer is registering online. And then I have my payment details for the class. Is there a registration fee? What is the monthly price? And I can build out all of the payment stuff there. Again, when we build this out for a gymnastic school or a dance studio, we build out all of their classes for them. We build out all of their registrations for them. So we're putting in their contract for them. We are creating their memberships. We are adding their classes, and then we're putting all of their current members into those. That is part of our onboarding process for these business types. And so just so you guys are aware, this isn't something that you have to figure out how to set up for them. We build this all out, and then we train your merchants on how to use this. So that would be the flow for this. Once you've created your membership, you'll just click on this copy link here, and then this is going to generate a URL where you can plug this into a button on your website for registration on that specific class, or you can throw it into Facebook and you can embed the URL into a button on a Facebook ad. You can put it into an email. Anywhere you can paste a URL, you kind of get how that works. That's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this URL, and then that's going to be, this is what it's going to open up when somebody clicks on that URL. So this is going to open up our online registration flow, where I'm going to start out by putting in the buyer's information. They're going to be putting in name, email, and phone number is what I have required on this account. Once that's typed in, they'll go over to member info. And so I'm just going to type this out really quick. We'll just throw in once they put that in there, we'll go next step. Then it's going to ask for the client's information. Again, this is the student who's registering for this class or the member who's joining the class. And again, I can ask specific questions on these. These pull in from my contract. So then they'll type out this information. Again, some of this is specific to specific business types. We have the ability to turn on or off different registration fields. I'll throw in my zip code. Select my skill level. Again, you can add multiple students here too. This is very important for when you're building out families. A lot of families are going into these schools and they're registering 2 or 3 kids at a time, depending on who all they're taking to these classes. From here, then I'll just go next step and just leave the 1. And then this is going to give me the ability now to view my agreement. I'll pull up my waiver. They're going to look down through the waiver. Once they accept the terms and conditions, then it's going to pull in specific check boxes so we can break out specific items that the business cares about. They're going to go through, they have to, in this case, agree to all 3 of these. And then they're going to type in their name here for a digital signature, and then they can go next step. And then this is going to then allow them to complete the purchase. They'll make their payment all through this flow. And then that's how somebody would be joining one of these classes or registering for one of these classes. So anyway, the online registration form is very clean. It's very professional looking. It takes them right to the end page here. And again, then we're displaying dual pricing for this checkout process. So if they're using ACH and card or just using card and cash, we can display dual pricing here and make sure we're passing those fees for the business as well. Inside of Stackably then, I'm just going to show this real quick. When I build my digital contracts, again, very customizable. I'll just go into one that I already have created. You're going to have a couple of steps that you go through. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our waiver and all of the terms that they're going to be agreeing to. After that's pasted in there, we put in their check boxes of which things do they want the customer to check to agree to. Then we can build out specific questions. So again, for a lot of these, they want to know what type of skill level somebody's coming in as or what kind of skills do they currently have. They'll have questions they want us to add in. The student would have to answer those questions as part of that sign-up process. And then the last step here just gives you an overview of what the entire waiver will look like once it's filled out. These can also be used for appointment businesses that are not doing classes. Stackably also has the ability to add a digital contract or a waiver onto an appointment. So for tattoo shops or for other businesses where they want a waiver or some type of agreement in place, even though there's only one class that's taking place or one instance or one appointment, you can add these in here. The way that would work is inside of my booking links. If I go to my calendar, I'll go to my booking link here. And then for this class, for example, I have class 1. I'll go into edit it. While I'm building out my information for this class, again, you put all your information in where the class is, how often does it occur, how many people can get into it, that sort of thing. Once I go here, I have my agreement type. I can select, do I want a waiver or a digital contract? If I select digital contract, I can select the ones that I have created in the system. Again, so we build this stuff out for them and then they can plug it in very easily throughout the software and make sure they're getting those things to be completed whenever people are booking either appointments or booking into classes for ongoing memberships. And then there are some specific reporting that comes with that as well. If you go into the reporting inside of Stackably, you can go to the memberships report. This is going to give me a breakdown of the people that are currently on a specific membership or are booked into a specific class. And then I can go through and see, are they up to date on their payment? Any information about it? Do I want to view their contract or anything like that? So again, a lot of specific features built around memberships and classes and how those two things tie together. But those were the main things I wanted to kind of highlight today. I know we've talked a lot about classes or we've mentioned it, but I never really had a chance to go in and show kind of how that membership flow looks. Again, I've seen other of our competitors' membership flows. They're all very ugly. They're very clunky. Our membership flow for online registration is very clean and simple and very customizable. So it is a great feature that we have that's available for you guys.